Hello, welcome to Smartboard 101. I'm your host, Robert Rocha. I'm an instructional technology specialist with the Paso Independent School District. Recently, we've been focusing on how to add interactivity into our Smart Notebook lessons. Today, we're going to focus on more of the basic elements, the layout of Smart Notebook. And specifically, we're going to be looking at the Attachments tab in our Smart Notebook. The Attachments tab in our Smart Notebook allows a teacher to upload files that they may have to use for their classroom. And these files can be, let's say, a movie that they downloaded from United Streaming, any PowerPoints or Word documents that they may use or need when they're teaching their particular class. So let's go and take a look at this Attachments tab and see how it works. So I'm going to go back to my Smartboard, and I'm going to go and click on my presentation file that I have here, and I'll open it up. And again, my tabs is going to be over here on the left-hand side. And also, too, as a little note, if I was presenting on the other side of my Smartboard, notice I have these two little arrows that are there. I can move those tabs over to the other side depending on what your presentation style is going to be. So you can always move those around or whatever if you feel comfortable in building your Smart Notebook lesson. So I'm going to go back here to my side since I'm on this side of the camera. And my Attachments tab is going to be my third tab down. And if I click on that particular piece here, notice here I have a listing here of all the different attachments that I have. And so if you notice, the very first one I have is I can actually link to an actual external website. So that attachment can actually be a link and not actually an actual file itself. And as I go down here below, notice I have some Excel files that I have here. I have a Word document that I have also too. I have a linking example from another particular Smart Notebook file that I created. And of course, I have these different JPEG pictures I can go back and refer to as needed during my particular Smart Notebook lesson that I have. So what's really great about this is, again, it helps with your time management of your classroom. If you're looking for these attachments on your computer, you're spending time walking from the front of the classroom back to the middle of the room to where your computer's at and looking at those particular files. And so sometimes you lose your audience or your students when you're doing that. But now your students are always getting that information at a very fast rate, and you're not losing any concentration with them. So using Attachments tabs can be a very, very powerful feature in your classroom. Now, again, what it does, what Smart Notebook does, is it allows you to actually attach the whole copy of the file. So that way, let's say you're building on one computer and you want to transfer your files to another computer, those attachments come with you like a package. And so you don't have to worry about anything of it not being there when you're actually wanting to use that particular attachment. And again, it comes in handy. A lot of times teachers are building Smart Notebook lessons and they're sharing it between teachers themselves. You don't have to worry about, oh, you have to upload that other attachment to them. Everything's all in one safe place within Smart Notebook. So let's go and take a look and see how we actually put things in the attachments part of our Attachments tab. If I look on the very bottom right of my inset box that I have here, if I click on Insert, I get three menu screens that come up here, and I can insert a copy of a file, which I highly recommend. You can insert a hyperlink or a shortcut to a file, which I don't recommend. But let's go insert a copy of a file. So for instance, let's say I wanted to watch a movie within my that I downloaded from United Streaming. What I can go ahead and do is go to unitedstreaming.com. I can go and download the movie that I want to go ahead and watch for a preview with my students. And I'm going to put that file on my desktop. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to minimize my screen here. So I'm going to verify that, as you can see, my movie is right there. My Egyptian movie that I have is located right here. And so I'm going to go ahead and attach that whole file within my Smart Notebook. So I'm going to go back to my Smart Notebook. I'm going to go back to Insert. I'm going to do Insert Copy of the file. So it gives me a complete copy. And here, I know that that file is on my desktop. So I'm going to click on Desktop again. I'm going to look for that movie, and there it is, Egyptian Mummies. I'm going to click on that to highlight it. And then I'm going to choose Open. And now notice here, it put the copy of that file right in my Smart Notebook. So as I'm teaching and I'm talking to my class, I say, okay, now kids, we're now going to go ahead and read or watch our movie. All I simply need to do is go to my Attachments tab, and I'm going to look for my Egyptian movie. I can double click on it, and there at my fingertips is my movie. I don't have to go back to my computer and hunt for it. And so when I'm finished watching the movie, I simply close out the X here and get that to go. And it didn't work too well for me, so go back
When
to
a
my
body
computer,
dies,
click on that X, and then guess what? My Smart Notebook file is still open, so I can still continue on my lecture that I have with my students. Now, the next thing you can go and do is click on an actual hyperlink. So a hyperlink is just a fancy name for an external website, so I'm going to click on that. And I'm going to go ahead and give my hyperlink, I'm going to hyperlink to EPISD. So I'm going to click in here, http://EPISD.org. And what my display name I want that to be, I'm just going to call this EPISD. That way I know exactly what that link is for. And I'm going to simply click on OK. And now notice down over here, I have my Mozilla Firefox, which happens to be my default browser picture, and EPISD. So as I'm teaching and I want to go to that particular link, I just simply click on that link, and it opens up a website. It's coming up right now. There it is. And there's my website that took me automatically to my EPISD website. And click here. Now, if you're building your Smart Notebook lessons on your computer and you're not going to share them and you're not going to transfer it all to any other computer, then you can use the last option of insert and sort of shortcut to a file. And I'm going to go click on here, and I can install a shortcut to, let's say, these 10 simple ways to add interactivity, and click open. And now notice here my symbol is a little bit different. I got the Smart Notebook file there letting me know that it's a Smart Notebook file, but it's a picture of a little arrow, meaning that it's going to, it's going to be a link as far as a shortcut to that. So if I was to transfer that to another person, that shortcut's not going to work, so always keep that in mind. But this pretty much wraps it up for learning how to use the Attachments tab within a Smart Notebook. I hope you learned something today that you felt that you would use in your classroom. Have a good day. Bye-bye.